Hi, my name is Fallout. Welcome if you're new to the channel, and if you haven't done so yet, please click subscribe and make yourself at home. I promise I'm only going to get a tad unhinged today, and I want to talk about a few things. I originally wanted to talk about my thoughts on Witch Queen so far, and also my thoughts on the new Vow of the Disciple raid, and Day 1 raiding in general. I'll still talk about that eventually, but god damn it if there isn't some new bullshit drama in the community already. On God, I will become a dedicated Gambit main if we can go for 1 month without half of Twitter turning into a garbage fire. Here's the long and short of what's going on if you're a pure soul who stays clear of Reddit and Twitch. By the way, please follow me on Twitch. Every time Bungie puts out a new raid, the very first day of that raid is Raid Race Day. Bungie enables contest mode for Day 1 raids now, which means that everyone who attempts to do the raid in the first 24 hours is intentionally power capped at a low level. TLDR, it's going to be really hard. You're going to do less damage, you're going to take more damage. Overall, it's a pretty tough challenge. The teams that are able to beat the raid in the first 24 hours are awarded a special emblem by Bungie that becomes unearnable after Day 1. Usually, not a lot of teams worldwide are able to accomplish the challenge, and only a few thousand groups are able to unlock and rock the emblem. Now, in the past, we've had some Day 1 emblem arguments centered around maybe the Day 1 raid being, quote, too easy. That was fun. But fortunately, I don't think anyone out there was going to have that particular take on Vow of the Disciple. I think the numbers alone show it was pretty goddamned challenging. I believe only 892 teams beat Vow of the Disciple on Day 1, not Weekend 1, Day 1. Compare that with 6,783 teams that beat Vault of Glass on Day 1 and 5,325 teams that beat Deepstone Crypt on Day 1. I could go back further, but Deepstone Crypt was when Bungie made big changes to Day 1 raiding overall, putting more focus on players getting Day 1 raid clears through playstyle and execution, and less of a focus on pre-raid power prep. However, that 892 number for Vow is a little skewed because about a few hours into Day 1 of the Vow of the Disciple raid, Bungie tweeted out that they were extending the duration of contest mode by 24 hours to Monday due to connection issues. If you were watching on Twitch, a ton of teams out there, mine included, were getting group error coded and being sent back to orbit multiple times. While the majority of these errors were happening at the beginning of the raid race, they still happened plenty of times throughout. I don't have a clip of it because I didn't feel like diving through 24 hours of live streamed footage, but there was one part of the boss fight where my team experienced a 100% connection desync. When the Disciple fired his 4-way orange beam, multiple teammates were standing in a perfectly safe spot, but they got deep fried anyway. Laser.
That's not where it was. That's not where it was.
No, it straight up was not there.
I promise you, by the way, that is not me or them making excuses. That happens in D2 more than you think. When we eventually did beat the boss at the very end of the raid, we tried to take a group victory picture with everybody standing on top of the boss's body, but we couldn't. My fiance's game had the boss's dead body in a different location than where it was for us, meaning when we were standing on the boss's dead tree-like body, on my fiance's screen, it appeared to her that all of us were simply standing and floating in midair while the boss lay dead somewhere else for her several meters away. No, I'm on top of him.
No, I'm on top of it.
No, you're not.
Oh, no, you're not. You're on the ground.
You're on the
No, you're
top.
not. Yeah, no, you're on the bottom.
Oh, she is on top
walk
of him.
around.
You're glitched out. You move. You're glitched out. You're glitched out.
TLDR, the Vow raid had error codes and connection jank, and Bungie made the executive decision to extend contest mode for 24 hours. When word got out about this, people flipped the out. I obviously didn't see it at the time because I was busy raiding, but after finally murdering the Disciple good, eating a metric ass ton of Five Guys, and then passing out for a few hours, I saw plenty of insane takes about people deserving and not deserving the emblem. I'll just put all my cards down on the table and say that if you're going to bat hard that Bungie should strip the emblem away from people who got it on Day 2, I think you need to reevaluate your life priorities. Perhaps stroll outside, run your fingers through a nearby meadow, feel the earthy texture of the local greenery, if you know what I'm saying. Not gonna link any of these tweets because I don't want to single one or two people out and just encourage dogpiling, but a lot of the takes boiled down to, only 892 teams deserve the emblem. On Day 2, the number of clears jumped all the way up to 6,778. Because the Day 1 number is so much smaller, that proves it was way harder to do on Day 1 and not on Day 2. And I see what they're trying to say, but also keep the following in mind. Bungie tweeted out that they were extending the contest modifier at about 8 p.m. Pacific on Day 1. With that info getting spread far and wide by the community, plenty of teams heard that news flash, mine included, and decided decided they were just gonna take 5, rest up, and get it done the next day. After all, why not take advantage of a free extra 24 hours given by Bungie? Anyway, yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. I think it was pretty clear that a lot of teams were getting the shaft connection-wise, which absolutely is gonna throw off the day 1 raid race. All in all, the teams that beat the raid in contest mode, day 1 or day 2, still beat the raid in contest mode. They still did the thing on the hard difficulty. I feel like reading through all the Twitter takes that I read through all boiled down to, I want to have the shiny thing, and I don't want other people to also have the shiny thing. Also, by the way, another take I saw that I kinda wasn't expecting was a large amount of people getting mad at Bungie, not because they wanted to gatekeep the emblem, but because they wanted contest mode to be over immediately so they could do the raid normally on Sunday. Now, I totally get that plenty of people out there don't care about contest mode, and on top of that, if I was a regular Joe who maybe considered myself average at handling endgame content, and I'd carved out a set amount of time to raid on Sunday after contest mode, and my well-laid plans with my buddies got scuffed up due to Bungie's extension of contest mode, I understandably would be a little peeved. However, on the other hand, Jesus, have a heart, man. I get you're in a bind because your plans got rained on and you just want to go in on normal mode, but good God, day 1 contest mode is an event that happens so rarely, once, maybe 2 times per year. So many people, including me, look forward to day 1 raiding all year. Can you just be a little patient? When contest weekend is over, you have all the time in the damn world to raid on normal mode until your thumbs bleed. Anyway, amid all the very weird online drama, I started seeing takes here and there that recommended that maybe, moving forward, a 48-hour raid race should become the new norm. And even though I do feel that in my heart of hearts there is something very special about the 24-hour time limit to get it done, that extra crunch mode vibe, you know? I don't hate the idea of making 48 hours the new norm. We all want contest mode raid weekend to be challenging, otherwise it loses part of the sheen, but I think everyone can agree that Saturday or Sunday, Vow of the Disciple was a challenge. I'm friends with plenty of people who did not get the contest emblem, good players, including many streamers and content creators. It's still plenty challenging, and it might just give people maybe a little bit of more flexibility to experience legit one of the most fun and challenging things I've ever experienced in a gaming community. A good content creator friend of mine, who I think deleted the Twitter thread because he was getting weird shade from mouth breathers, so I won't share his name, briefly talked about the struggles of being a professional streamer and YouTuber and also a parent. No one wants to miss spending time with their kids, but it's tough when you're a professional gamer and you only have 24 hours to participate in one of the biggest days of the year for your job. Schedules are gonna clash and it sucks. I just think it might be time for Bungie to start brainstorming options where maybe we have more flexibility, all the while keeping the polish and charm of the contest mode raid race. For example, what if we had the following? Change the day 1 raid race to the weekend raid race, but maybe the minute you step foot into the raid, the game keeps a running clock on how much time you have spent in the activity, and when you pass the 24 hours spent in the raid threshold, not necessarily hours back to back, but 24 hours total spent in the raid over the course of the opening weekend, bam, that is your window for earning the contest emblem. That way you still have the race for world's first among the most dedicated teams, but also you have more flexibility for people to get involved and participate in contest mode if they want to. Making it 24 hours cumulative, but also keeping it limited to just 2 days on the weekend might allow those who have schedules that can't be moved more of an opportunity to get involved, but still keeping the content challenging. I've heard some other people talking about maybe having the option to turn contest mode on or off even after the raid race weekend is over, which I think is a damn good idea. I've been running the raid back after weekend 1, and I'm not trying to flex or anything, but to me it's kind of a cakewalk now after going through it on contest mode. I know that beating it on contest was a gauntlet of determination and mental anguish, and at some point during the day I'm pretty sure I said out loud that I would rather bare knuckle box a polar bear, but still, if I want to willingly put myself through that pain and challenge again for whatever reason, that should be my God-given right. I'm telling you right now that if there were a contest mode mode option, which came with increased chances at getting deep sight weapons to drop, I'd be suffering through that shit right now. I don't know, kind of going off track here, but I think it's a golden opportunity for Bungie to take a look at the data and take a look at the overall community reaction to the extended contest mode. I personally think extending it was the right move, and I wouldn't be opposed to Bungie making more adjustments in the future while also keeping the contest mode hella challenging. I think that out of the 3 most recent raids that have dropped with the newer, less power grind to prepare focus, Vow was by far the hardest day 1 raid. And even though there were moments where I wanted to wrap a garden hose around my neck and turn the faucet up to full blast, it'll eventually go down in my brain as another great gaming memory for me, and I think it set the perfect difficulty bar for contest mode raiding. I'd like it if Bungie would give a little more thought about adding optional contest mode in the future for those who may have missed out on weekend 1, and maybe some kind of unique reward to go along with that. Most of all though, I'd really like it if there could be no insane Emblem related community controversy in 2023. Let's focus that weird Frankenstein townspeople energy on something else. Like maybe the fact that the Witch Queen's PvE content is all so good that it's really just shedding a light on how badly PvP needs love right now. Or the fact that I would rather punch myself in the face than play 5 minutes of Gambit. Anyway, might be asking for trouble here, but I genuinely do want to hear your takes on day 1 raiding in D2 and the contest mode emblem. Do you want contest mode to stay 24 hours? Should 48 be the new norm? Should you be able to turn contest mode back on if you want? Let me hear everything you have to say down in the comment section. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.